Well, hello there, and welcome to another Table Talk with Oatsleys. So, today we're going to be talking about how to play board games or where to play board games online so that you and your friends can enjoy for some either free or low costing experiences. So, my strive here that I personally own is the following Catan, which free to play to an extent. You can play up to three players free to play. If one person and they have scrolls to where you then technically get like a free bit into the actual playing. You can buy the full game for like $20, but you can buy the expansions individually. I will be doing a video over this guy personally as a tutorial and kind of like a look into words, but it's going to be its own series called Catan. Catan Online. So it's a very fun game. If you've never played it before, it's free to play. First off, the tutorials are great. It's actually a pretty decent game. You can play with people on your phone. You can play with people on Steam, and you can do crossplay between each other. So it's actually very user friendly in that nature. Um, Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle Earth, it doesn't work unless you have the pieces in front of you. So like one person would have to be the host, the other one would have to do the camera, recording camera webcam, and you can see the map, and then people have to play them out. Or you have Lord of the Rings Journey Middle Earth open and Tabletop Simulator. You run the pieces on Tabletop Sim while someone's running both games. It sounds monotonous, but it's actually not that horrible. But that means you have to purchase. Oh, this is free to download. This is a free add-on with the actual board game Lord of the Rings Journey to Middle-earth. It's very similar to Star Wars Imperial Assault. The same thing can be done with actually Star Wars and Tabletop Simulator. For those of you that are not familiar with Lord of the Rings Journey Middle-earth or Star Wars Imperial Assault, it's basically like if you wanted to get into D&D, but you were very new. You're not competent. You're new. And you wanted to dive into some of the aspects, mainly combat focused. That's what Star Wars Imperial Assault would be, with a little bit of lore telling and story play, right? And in Lord of the Rings, it's like the exact same thing, except for instead of really combat focused, you're exploration focused. They're very interesting games. They're good games to have. Sean, and Eric play so much Imperial Assault when we actually get together in person, and it's awesome. We will be doing a series. I don't know if we'll be doing, well, we'll be starting on first, but we're definitely doing more Imperial Assault in the future. Lord of the Rings Journey from Middle Earth, there's a little bit of a balancing issue we find. We want to go ahead and clear everywhere, kill all the enemies, and then, clear the map. But that's not how it works. You're always on the run. You're always trying to escape the eye. And we have to get used to focus on the objective, not on the side mission. And that really is a hindrance. But besides that, it's an actually decent bit. You can see here we played 59 hours of it so far. Um, but anyway, this is about what you can play online versus not. So my next recommendation is Scythe. Scythe Digital Edition. You can play it on Tabletop Simulator. There's actually a DLC, and I own the DLC. Actually, it's Scythe. You can get it on Tabletop Simulator. I personally love Scythe. It's an awesome game. It has a mixture of economy, military, alliances, random events, and building and growth. It's a just overall really great game. But the video game, the standalone game for Scythe, it's worth, um, I want to say like 10 to 15 bucks. I bought it on sale. It was pretty decent. And it's very fun, it's very user friendly, and it teaches you how to play the game right. And that's the biggest issue with Tabletop Simulator, is that when you're playing these games, you're going off of memory or rule books that are actually in the game as a PDF. So you're unlimited to what you can mess up on. Whereas in Catan standalone or Scythe standalone, you're playing within the restrictions of the video game. So you learn how to play the game properly. But again, 20 bucks, you have Tabletop Simulator, and you have most of these games anyway, along with everything else. So the only other thing I want to point out before, how do I go to my wish list? Ooh. So the only other game I want to point out real quick that I don't personally own but plan to buy is Monopoly. And the reason why I recommend getting the standalone version of Monopoly versus the Tabletop Simulator, it's just more appealing. It feels better. With that kind of game, people get frustrated. They freak out. Tables can get flipped in Tabletop Simulator. Things can get scattered. This kind of streamlines the game to actually be more enjoyable for the online preference. Um, well, without further ado, I forgot. I recently bought a brand new game. So a game that I recently got is called Talisman. Um, I have not played it personally, but I got it recommended to me by a friend's group. This game has over, how much DLC does it have? View DLC in store. I think it's over like $200 of DLC. Uh, but the thing is, they're so small packs that there's just tons and tons of Talisman DLC and everything else that comes with it. It's a card game necessarily, so a new card pack, you get it. It's also there's a real in-person version of this as well, but this is basically D&D, but a free-for-all, a co-op, and an alliance versus enemies game. You work through your levels, you try to rank up your person as strong as you can, and the person who can clear the dungeon, the final dungeon, wins. Now, the trick is, who do you help? Who do you hurt? And where does it belong to? So it's a neat game. I haven't played it fully myself yet, and I'll probably be doing a session of how to play and kind of learning as we go. But without further ado, let's jump into Tabletop Simulator. And from there, we can go ahead and I can show you the types of games I have on there to give you a big idea of what this $20 video game would get you. Alrighty, so um, where you start, you can join other people that are playing games. Let's see, can we actually see? Okay, so you can see what everyone else is playing. Can we skip this over by chance? No? So you see that some people are playing X-Wing, some Scythe, some Gloomhaven, some D&D. These are all password to joins. It's probably because my filter is set to that. But, no. Apparently a lot of people are just kind of stay hidden. That's okay. So, anyway, if you want to create a game, single multiplayer hot seat where you pass host on. So we're going to do single player for now, because I'm not going to invite Eric or Sean over. But let's look at the classic, right? So I'm talking basic family fun. You got Chinese checkers, you got Go, you got normal checkers, dominoes, chess, sandbox, where you just mess around blocks. You have poker, you have Mojang, you got card bots, you got backgammon, you got cards, you have a custom, whatever you want to do, custom board, jigsaw, RPG, tools, solitaire, dice, reversi, Pasky, and Peace Pack, right? As a default. Then DLC wise, this is where you pay to buy the additional stuff, but this is better refined games. Like I own Scythe, Cosmic Encounter. That's a good one actually on here. That's pretty decent. Um, the Captain is Dead is good. Um, what else have I played here? Zombicide's also decent. But there's a bit to look through. The main part about Tabletop Simulator is looking through the workshop. This is all fan made, but fan made projects are sometimes awesome. So let's give an example, right? We have Sorry. Oh, get out of there. We have Sorry, where it's basic, it's easy. You just got Sorry for free just for having this game. Congratulations. Munchkin, which Munchkins is fun. So Munchkins is a very basic game where you take your guys, you fight through your dungeons, and then once you get to the 10, you win. You can sabotage, attack. It's a lot like that one game I was talking to you guys about. It's a lot like Talisman. But but this one's a bit more in simplistic fashion instead of the crazy amounts of DLC. But the main part I love about, oh, sorry, mini golf. You gotta do some mini golf. This guy's awesome. Takes a moment to load in. Come on. I know you want to load. There we go. Mini golf. It's freaking fun. And so you take it, you measure it. Ping, ping, ping. That was really crappy. Oh, can I? Oh, oh, oh. Oh, it's like just real life. It's disappointing. All right. Anyway, so there's mini golf. There's side games you can play. There's a lot of customization, and you can save your own maps too. So, like we were recently playing um, tabletop um, games, right? Oh no. Oh, okay. It's just taking a second to load. Then I haven't played this in a long time. So this is an example of us playing a game called Star Wars Legion. It's a fantasy flight game that's a tabletop game that's insanely awesome. Awesome in the sense that it brings back a lot of childhood memories about playing with figures. But um, we had on one side we had a clone army, which was, oh, that's right. So the board setup, it was right over here, and we did this board setup right here. So a little bit of me and Sean, a little bit of me and Sean, Eric and Eric. So Eric's forces was here, me and Sean's forces was here, me and Sean's forces was here, and Eric was here. We found out that clones are just overpowered, but you can set up these guys, you can set up the cars. There's a lot of different ways you can just pluck down your army and be good, if I remember correctly. But that's, it's like I just pressed load army there, and it just populated my army and populated my tokens. So you can save these disk drives, and then once you save a disk drive, you can pop them in. But we've done this now for this, Battlestar Galactica, bowling. Just there's just so much you can get into. That's awesome. Let's see. Is there a Warhammer game? There's X-Wing. Oh, you can play X-Wing on this, and X-Wing is so good with playing on here. So if you want to test out ships before you buy them, or you want to test out Warhammer 40k people before you buy them, Tabletop Simulator is such a laggy game. No, it takes a little bit because it's reloading all the models and everything else. It is such a good game to get. So where this was when it was First Order versus, so it was Sean versus me. I think I was getting smoked, and I wasn't having it anymore. I was about done. And so what's cool about this is I was this player. So so if I wanted to boost right, it would show me what the boost right action would do. My original versus my move. Let me click on. So it actually moves your things for you, so you don't have to measure or do any of your side steps. And it takes your tokens with you. Oh, where's boost left? Ah, there's nowhere to boost to, so you can't boost left. It would kill you if you would, because boosting action would actually do that. So, and this is all set up to where you can just take in your people, you spawn them in using a code or by building them yourself. And it's actually pretty darn cool. It's called X-Wing 2.0. They keep up with the rules of the present X-Wing batches. Let's see if I have any Warhammer 40k old games. This might be one. It's going to take a moment to load. They always do. So this is an example of what we put together tools-wise and such for a Warhammer 40k game. I don't know if this is before, during, or after the game, though. Okay, so this is before the game. So we put our tools here, we put our boards here to look at, to reference off of. We put our dice here on the ground. And we have our cards here to tell us our details, so we didn't even need the codex. So this was Sean versus me, and it was a capture the point game. I was Space Marines. I had 2 hunters, intercessors. I had a champion. I think that's just a captain actually. It says champion, but it's just a captain. He had a gun wagon. He had some flash kits. He had some more flash kits, more flash kits, and he had a lot of bullies. A lot of bullies. Some war bosses and a pain boy. And over here, I really didn't have much. I had to really hold out. I won this, just to let you guys know. Freaking suck it, Sean, if you're watching this. But I had a dreadnought here. I had a champion here, which I think this one's a lieutenant. And then I had another captain here. I had some plasma guys there. And I had 2 groups of tacticals that I could drop. I believe I dropped the tacticals here, and they ended up being a huge fight. Um, which is pretty darn cool, actually. But actually, I'm gonna go ahead and include the. I'll go ahead and include the pictures from this batch because I remember doing this and I have the pictures. So remind me to do that if I have not done it. But yeah, so there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of cool setups you can have with this game. Oh, here's one. This is where me, Eric, and Sean, and our friend Kurt has played Warhammer 40k. Let's just load a little bit. So the setup was Space Marines with Dark Eldar versus Harlequins and Orcs. So this is the turn right before it ended. I had some intercessors guarding here. He had some crows over there. I had a hunter in the background shooting at what was left of his Skyweavers. And then Kurt Skyweavers just obliterated the dude. The truck was getting annihilated. And I ended up dropping down my captain, and then he was just taking on the boys like a champ. What died was some Shadow Seers leaders. Eric usually had leaders. He had troop masters, a Death Jester, and such. He had a massive explosion that also sucked for him. Sean lost a lot of his troops, just chaos. Um, Kurt lost a lot of his people due to the chaos as well. Those predators are not really anything. Just get out of here. Um, but so you can do custom bags and keep terrain and such. Like, why are they coming out upside down? Like those are some dead boys from the orc buildings. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, so in short, Tabletop Simulator, it is what you make out of it. The more creative you are, the better it is. And if you're really wanting to get a one game fix all, this is the game you need to get. Um, It is about 20 bucks per person, which kind of sucks, but considering how many free games, how many free mods they have and everything else, it is so worth your money. It's not even worth debating about. Um, Catan, look into it. It's free. I'll actually pop over here while we finish up. Catan, look into it. It is a free tabletop game. Very few are like that. To get the expansions or the DLCs, you have to buy the game. But the base game itself, to learn Catan and see if you like it, is free. And that's really what matters. So, so without further ado, I hope this guys gives you something to learn, to try to talk about, try something to get involved with your family, to see if that's something you guys want to do. Say if you're working far from home currently due to having to move, or you're separated due to college, or you're not really just able to hang out with some of your older family members due to being sick. I hope this gives you something to go off of being able to play with the family again if you're separated. And if it doesn't, and if you're just really an introvert and like to stay to yourself, maybe it's giving you some context. But either way, guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next Table Talk episode. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you like our content and make our struggle a little bit less of a struggle. Appreciate you.